That's cool. Let's cook up a beat in Logic Pro 12 and let's use Logic Pro 12's new session musicians. Let's see how good they are. Let's see how good the chord detect is, and let's put all these into one workflow. Let's get to it. Let's start a new one, and I'm gonna bring in not ChatGPT. I'm gonna bring in an instrument. Let's go to sounds. Let's look for a pad. Similar idea. Oh yeah, I love that. Okay, so 130. Let's change that 130. Oh, where are we? Okay, 130. There we are. 130. Okay, let's check the chords out here. Drop it in. It's analyzing. Okay, let's see. Looks kind of right. Okay. Yeah. These are F sharp minor 9s, but it did not detect, like in my other videos I told you guys that it does not like to detect color tones. Okay, looks good so far, just by judging it with my own ears. But if you don't have, again, like what I say, if you don't have ear training and things like that background, if you don't, like I said before, if you don't have ear training background, these really don't mean anything to you. So if you're relying on this solely, you know, I don't know what to say. Okay, so let's start bringing in some instruments. So let's bring in a session player. Let's get a, let's turn this into like an R&B type of track. Let's try a bass player, actually. Let's bring in a disco slap. Let's try that. Okay, so there are some interesting things over here, the shift that it does. Okay, so the chords are not changing where they should be, so we gotta have to change that. Okay, so the C sharp is changing there. Okay, and then this is changing right here. Okay, so now this should reflect the other instruments. Interesting. Okay, track. Let's make this follow the keys. So instead of following where I put the chords here in the chord section, it should be following the synth. Something's happening there that I don't like. Let's see. Okay, I regenerated it. Okay, interesting. All right, let's add a drummer. What should we add? Modern R&B. Let's add the modern R&B drummer here. Okay, it's gonna follow the... Let's have it follow the synth first, the pad. Ooh, not my favorite. Not my favorite. Half time. Okay, so I added half time now because it kind of is felt half time. Whoa, what is that? Ooh, maybe at this point it'd be easier to play it because there's just these weird sounds that it's adding that is unfitting. But let's continue this. This is an interesting kind of experiment. So far, so good. I'm gonna make the bass follow the drums. This part is just terrible. Why? Regenerate. Let's go to less complex. Oh, because it's trying to do the like slap, but it does not sound very realistic. It's trying to do like a specific kind of slap here. What if I change it? It's like it's not really... Okay, I'm gonna do... Okay, this may have been the problem, that the F sharp minor was said that it's coming later. Now it's good. Okay, wow. I think that's going to be interesting for you guys to see, because if there's something that's not in the right tempo, not quite my tempo, then it's starting that chord in a wrong place, just like what you saw. So if I move this F sharp minors like an eighth or a quarter note later, or a 16th note later, then all the generations are going to be wrong. Just like what happened here. So, and if I don't have musical knowledge or, things like that, then I might not necessarily catch it or have no idea how to fix it. So let's add a little bit of a different thing over here. I'm going to add a little bit more complexity, regenerate. Let's add a shaker. Okay, that's kind of cool now. Let's add the kickstart. Okay, now let's add the piano there. Broken chords. Let's check that out. Broken chords. It will not have nines and color tones, but you know, whatever. Unless, okay, let's change that. Let's change that. I'm gonna add the 9 here. 9, okay. I'm gonna add the major 9 here. Also, why not? F sharp, 7, 9, yeah. But again, I have to do this. So this did not detect it, which means I am having to do it myself. Okay, this did not have a 9. Now that's kind of cool. Let's look at what we can do with the voicings here. Left hand, right hand, voicing and styles. So we have root, root octave, root fifth octave. That's pretty much what you can do with the left hand. And sustain only, simple, moderate, complex, follow, right hand, and steady eights. So let's go to moderate. And then on the right hand, we have full chord, two voices, fixed interval, common tone, three voices, common tone, 4 plus voices. Let's go let's go with 4 plus voices in movement, small range. So yeah, these are kind of like what you could do. So if you're a piano player and you know how to play chords and you can do it, this is what I will do. So yeah, this kind of replaces having to do it yourself. So if you do know how to play piano, you know the voicings and things like that, then odds are that you can actually play this. But now I don't even have to touch a single MIDI instrument, just dragging, dropping, and changing things here, which is kind of interesting. It's a different way of creating. I'll let you decide what you think about it. So in the comments, please tell me what you think about this. And I know you'll probably say, oh, this requires no talent, or this will give musical ability to those who have absolutely no idea what they're doing, which, you know, honestly, that is definitely a reality. Because at this moment, all I've done was use a sample, drag it in, get the chords, move things around. But like what happened to me before, chords weren't placed at the right rhythm or the right place, which kind of shifted things. So you still have to have some form of knowledge. Now let's hear what this created. Ooh. Okay, so some of this I already don't like. Okay, so there you go. And this is the greatest example. I did not move this. There you go. And it already kind of shifted what was generated here. So now this is lined up to downbeat. So you have to check if the chords are really aligning where they're coming in, if that makes sense. So let's hear it now. That's pretty cool. Now what I will do is take this melody. And keep on working on that. That's the arranger part of my mind, because that's dope. You know, you keep that and then you have that as a hook. I could hear that as a freaking trap, but whatever, like an R&B trap. By the way, all of these instruments you can change. So if you want to use your own instruments that you have that are not Apple instruments, virtual instruments, you drag and drop, just like I showed you earlier. You drag and drop, so you click on the track, you option click it, and you move it wherever you want, and use your own instrument, and you can change the track settings like these within that sound. So now we're just using, honestly, just Logic sounds, but I could change any of this. So one thing I want to try is the Freely. The Freely piano, that sounded cool. So let's go to low intensity and high complex. Let's see what it does. Now a large range. I'm very curious what it's gonna sound like. Okay, I don't know how pianoistic is that. Let's go to middle range. That's kind of cool. Let's go to 3-voice common tone. That's kind of cool. But I can also hear just like one or an octave being played. Bum, 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 bum. You know, it's a lot of arranging. So you can't still let this arrange, obviously, your song. You have to use your own creative imagination, but they're really interesting. Oh, wow. What are these? Chords, presets? Okay, follow memories. Look, let's go to lullaby. What does it do? Interesting. Let's hear that. Let's hear this other bass. Okay, pretty interesting, but let's create a different bass now. Pump, no, this won't fit. Let's go to modern R&B. Let's see what this will do. And, okay, it's following the chords. Let's make it follow the synth track. Oh, half time. So this is kind of cool that you can actually change the feel there, that it's a halftime feel. I need even less complex chords here. Okay, now if we hit Command K, we have the keyboard here, so we can play the notes here. Oh, I'm messing up some notes here, but you could record some light things. That would be the 11. Yeah, so we can do some stuff without a keyboard, but a small little MIDI thing would be even cooler. Let me see if I can find a cool sample or something that gives me a higher register sound. Let's see. I'm just gonna look for something in F sharp minor, and I'm gonna go with half the speed as what we have here. 130 divided by 2. 130 divided by 2. What is that? I think that's, shoot. Where's my math knowledge? Hey Siri, what is 130 divided by 2? 65. Dang, I should have known. Oh, that's funny. 65, yeah. So let's go to BPM, exact 65, and let's look for something. Vocals. I could also use, kid you not, a minor third up major key. So instead of that, we could use A major. Oh, there's no vocals in that key. Interesting. Let's look for lead. Oh, these are not the right key signature. So we need A major and then 65. 65. That's kind of cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's put it in there. Looks like I gotta stop the music to put it in, okay. Ooh, that's also kind of cool. Ooh, that's cool. That's even better. Does not fit. Okay, this one's pretty good. Let's add some big reverb. Pretty cool. Let's add this other. This could be cool with like a lo-fi pad or a lo-fi chords or something. Lo-fi sounding synth. Let's add some kind of a Serum instrument and use those broken chords there. Let's see. Pad. I'm gonna add this here. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Key. Let's look for a key. Ooh. That is cool, but I wish it was an octave lower. Oh, I could, right here. That is cool, yeah. Okay, but you gotta be careful. If you go too low, you hit like the lower interval limit things where it's gonna add a lot of mud. And you won't know that if you don't learn arranging or production. You know, there's like a range where you shouldn't really have thirds and things like that because it's gonna create some harmonic dissonance and it's not gonna sound good, basically. That's cool. I want trap hats here. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a different way of adding trap hats there. And I'm actually gonna, let's find a hat sound, hi-hat. Hat sound. Okay, let's go with this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this sample and bring it up here. And then we have the quick sample. And then we have the drum machine. But what we're gonna do, let's do drum machine, why not? And we're gonna do this, which means there's going to be a hi-hat sound for each individual 16 note. Okay, let's not do that. So 8 notes now. Okay. 8 notes. And the cool thing is you can click this and it changes velocity value and you can change all these things. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and repeat and you can do up to 16. What that's gonna do is it's gonna add however many numbers you have in that one hit. So if it's 3, yeah. So I like to go like random it, you know, 2 over there and like 4 here. Oh yeah, baby. That's cool. Okay. So I can add other instruments over here. Kick. Let's add the kick in there. I like that. And then a snare. I like that one. Okay, so we have our three most important components, I suppose. And let's add those other instruments. So we have the hat already, kick, and then the snare. And it also says kit pieces. So whatever you have here, they're gonna show up right here. So oh, whoopsie. Let's go to on ta-ta. Okay. I was singing kind of a different type of snare sound. Okay, so this won't necessarily be, let's go with 32. This. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a cool that would be a cool melody there. Oh shoot, y'all. Honestly, that's kind of cool. So let me save this. You should always save your sessions. F sharp minor, fun trap, whatever. Now the cool thing is that the cool thing is you can actually add effects on each one of these instruments. Oh yeah. And then you can automate this whole thing. So like for choruses, verses, you have more high end, less high end for verses, less rhythms and things like that. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm having a ton of fun doing this. It also gives me a lot of freedom in my mind to get ideas going on, but I would do the same thing if I had to play it, you know, like I'm getting honestly the same kind of enjoyment if I also were to play it, but it is different. It's not the same as like let's figure out chords, inversions, and things like that, because you'd have to think about what inversion sounds good, where to play it, how to move it. So there comes like technical knowledge there and physical ability to actually play the chords. This, you do have to make sure that certain things are set up well. Otherwise, it's gonna be wanky. That's the truth, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. See what you think about this. Let me know in the comments below how you use it, what you think this is gonna inspire, how you think this is gonna inspire producers, artists, creators, and songwriters, and things like that. And anyway, I'll see you in the next video.